And what's happening, guys? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. It's Monday. Hope everybody had a good old weekend. Hopefully everybody's having a half decent Monday. If you happen to be still at work while you are catching this, then commiserations to you. But lucky you to be able to tune in while at work. Not everyone is as lucky as that, and some of you will probably be watching back later. And if you're watching back later, let us know in the comment box. Make sure you say howdy, guys. Get involved in the chat, and I always do my best to reply if there's ever anything you want to point out while you're watching the show. Leave your comment afterwards, and I'll see those comments up on YouTube, Facebook, and things like that as well. So it's always good, you can always still be a part of the hotbox after the show, And don't forget as well, there's a Telegram chat group that's up and running at the moment. Again, my bad for not throwing it into the description of the show, but I'll actually update it there now. I should be able to update it handy enough. So I can update the description of the show, where it should then feature the link that you need to join the Telegram group. Just going to get people to join this Telegram group in an effort to just make sure that people who see this, that if I was to ever, if I can touch wood, then I'm not jinxing myself. But if I was to ever lose access to my social media or my streaming platforms, if I was to be deplatformed, if you will, for whatever reason, then at least I'll still have a point of contact for people. So join the Telegram 24/7 Hotbox. There we go. That's the name of the chat group as well. That's how you know you're in the right one. It's the 24/7 Hotbox. So boom, that should update there in the description for everybody. So yes, it's Monday. It's a beautiful day outside, in fairness. At least it is down here in Cork, down in the sunny south of Ireland today. There was some clouds in the sky, but to be fair, for the best part of it, oh, that's hot. It was it's quite lovely. I see lots of comments coming in, guys. Keep your comments coming in. I'll be shouting out to everybody in the hotbox there in a couple of seconds. If you want to at me, at Martin's World in the hotbox as well, and I'll be able to reply if you got questions there. Sorry, just fighting with me bloody volcano ball. It's definitely due a good cleaning. There's a bit of resin getting stuck in there, so when it cools back down, she's getting quite stuck. Oh yes, but the vape is going good. The volcano is going well. I have a nice little jar of AVB already vaped bud that's been collecting up here. So that can be used in future preparations if I wanted to do an alcohol extraction, or if I wanted to make a bit of a butter. There you go. Waste not, want not. It's a bit brown, but that's because it's been vaped. So right, let's get shouting out to everybody in the comments out in the hotbox. My bad, my hotbox. Daily Talker, what's going down, Daily Talker? Hopefully you're good. Mustawes is out there as well. What's going down, Mustawes? Hunter K is in the audience. Amy Riley's out there as well. What's going on, Amy? Hopefully you're well. Constant Gardner is there as well. CG, what's happening? I see that you were after finding the link there that I left over on Patreon as well. CG, got a bit of an email there to say that you were after accessing the Zoom room. But for anybody who subscribed to the Patreon, guys, I've shared a link over there to a Zoom meeting that will take place on Saturday. So this coming Saturday. So I will be having to look back through again the Patreon and stuff like that. But look, in case I miss anybody, if anybody's watching this now and you would like to be included, if you supported the show in the past, then all well and good, you're welcome on board. If you've not supported the show in the past, and if again you would like to be on board and you're just not financially situated to help out the show, because I know what that's like. I'm broke as a joke the best of times. Do drop me an email and I'll be able to share the link there as well with yourselves. We're going to hang out Saturday at 4:20 on Zoom. So that's going to be a link that I've been sharing around on Patreon and to other supporters of the show. It's going to be kind of a bit of a hangout, an Ask Me Anything session, and I suppose we might take recommendations there as to something that we could be watching as well, and watch parties. I'd like to do this on maybe a bit more of a regular basis as well, a monthly kind of a hangout. with listeners, supporters of the show. So definitely drop me an email, guys, if you want to get involved in that. Again, I see Man Falls out there, dude. If you want to drop me an email, dude, I'll make sure and I'll forward that link onto you, because if you're a regular here in the Hotbox, then your contribution is more than enough. You've been commenting, I'm sure you've been liking the show, and I'm sure you've been sharing and all of that other stuff, telling friends, that they're contributions that money can't buy. So thanks very much, guys, who for if you fit that bill. But do email me. If you're not on my Patreon, guys, email me and I will get the link to you. If you are my Patreon, then, guys, the link is up there already, so you should be able to see that now on the posts. I look forward to hanging out on Saturday. Oh yes, that ball is loaded up there now. Anyway, I haven't got a whole heap of news today for you guys, but one thing that was brought to my attention, and I did my very best to have a listen off it. This is our buddy there, Bobby Schmidt. Bobby Schmidt, I'm going to pop it up on screen so you can see this. Where is the Chrome gone to? There we go. So here's Bobby Schmidt. He's featured on a recent podcast episode 66 by the crime correspondent Nicola Tallant. So Nicola Tallant had the pleasure, I suppose, because it would be a pleasure if I got the opportunity to sit down and have a bit of a discussion with Bobby. I managed to listen to the first 10 or 15 minutes so far, and straight out the gate you can kind of see a bit of a reason as to why Bobby has such a bias. Within the first 15 minutes, you kind of get a bit of a background into Bobby Schmidt and who he is. And basically, he made himself, he became a made man, if you will, during the heroin epidemic. So at a time, there was an epidemic, and Bobby was the guy with the cape. He was the Superman of the day. And I think Bobby is trying to create another, like another epidemic, and that epidemic is in the form of cannabis threatening Ireland's teenagers. So that was the title of the video. Now, I don't know if that was something that Nicola and Bobby agreed on to use as the title of the episode. I'm not too sure there. I haven't listened to the remainder of the episode. There's about 45 more minutes that I would like to go through. And then for sure, I will be taking clips from that episode and I will be coming back and I'll be dissecting them. I see Joe Rogan there recently making the news. I watched his little 10-minute apology video, or apology, would you call it that? I don't know. But he put out a 10-minute video there because of what's been described, and that's kind of what he said. Look, look, whatever this has been described as misinformation, but like, is it really misinformation? He's open to having other people on, but look, anyway, he's getting hammered in the media because of the misinformation. But now we have people like Bobby Schmidt going on, and where's the challenging of the misinformation here? Well, I'm not going to let this one go by unchallenged. I'm going to rip it apart. I'm really going to scrutinize everything that Bobby says within this episode, because I think it's important that we call these people out for the misinformation that they're spreading around cannabis. I'm not on here saying that cannabis poses no threat to the young mind, to the young growing teenager. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that Bobby Schmidt is overstating those harms, those dangers, in order to benefit himself, in order to kind of make himself out to be like the saviour of the day. So if you all like, check out that episode. I'd be very interested in other people's thoughts, opinions on this. I'll do a live dissection of this, possibly on maybe Friday's news, but maybe I might set up a stream for during the week. I'll see where I can fit time in for this. But I will open the hotline as well, guys. The Martin's World hotline, that number that I haven't been really using for a while, 085 816 7420. I'll be opening that hotline up for discussion around this episode, so I'll be taking calls on people's opinions, thoughts and opinions. So if you'd like to contribute on that day, by all means listen. If you at all, if you have listened to this and if you've got some strong opinions and if you'd like to come on as part of a Zoom panel, I'll be more than happy to organise a Zoom panel and have you on for the entirety of the discussion. So drop me an email there if that sounds of interest to yourselves as well. But this is episode 66 anyway of Nicola Talent. She's a Sunday World crime correspondent. She has her weekly, I think, kind of a bi-weekly podcast where she puts out episodes around the crime world, underworld. So this is an article that is associated, or that was put up to advertise it. The episode is actually within the article there. But this is what it says in the article. Across the world, cannabis is being decriminalised and in some countries legalised, but with a higher potency and soaring prices, consumption of weed has become the main drug of concern amongst teenagers. But like, has become the main drug of concern. But for who? For who? Come on, state that. Like, because is it parents? Are parents majorly concerned? Who's is it of major concern to? But because to be fair, like most parents are actually overcome with ever increasing rent, ever increasing fuel bills, ever increasing electricity bills and bin bills and bills, and working then as a result of that, like the debate the ban, because the wages people get in this country are absolutely paltry compared to the cost of living in this country. So I'd imagine there's a lot more major concerns there for parents today, and even for other people in society, because if you've got a society where parents are cut off from their kids because they're overworked, because they're always just trying to work to meet the incoming bills, then you've got a much bigger problem than teenagers using cannabis. But anyway, we go on. He says here, Nicola Talent talks with the consultant psychiatrist Dr. Bobby Smith, who works with young addicts and who fears a tsunami of problems as attitudes to the drug become increasingly lenient. He reveals the changing trends of problem drug use in teenagers, about the public health drive which has stamped out heroin addiction in young people, and how cannabis has taken over as the main reason that kids need addiction services. And again, guys, check out the very, very good podcast I did with Dr. Garrett McGovern, who really lays it out in a very honest and a very frank discussion that we had. Honestly, really check that one out. Maybe after you've listened to this one, I'd imagine a lot of you have already heard that discussion with Dr. Garrett McGovern. But I think those two should be listened, maybe a bit side by side. Dr. Bobby Smith is a bit of a psychiatrist, but again, Dr. Garrett McGovern is an actual addiction specialist. All right, so think of those two, and think of like the difference in what's being said there from Dr. Garrett McGovern versus this guy, Dr. Bobby Smith. Dr. Bobby Smith is not an addiction specialist, but yet he talks about this growing trend of addiction around young people to cannabis. Dr. Garrett McGovern is like, it's like, are they addicted? No, they're probably just bored. That's most likely it. And if you were to look at the Icelandic model, and that supports Dr. Garrett McGovern, that when teenagers are not bored, i.e., the government have proper policies in place to make sure that parents and young people are not disconnected by giving families money for, say, leisure centres and for other extracurricular activities that they can go and take part in after school. So not only are they addressing the fact that, there might be families out there that mightn't have the means to go and partake in these activities. Grand, here's a great idea. Let's give the families, I don't know, is it 200 quid or something like that every 3 months, or is it every year per child or something like that, to go and partake in actual leisurely activities, and most importantly, to do it together, to strengthen the bonds there between the family, again, to strengthen the connections between the young people and the older people, between the kids and the parents. It's incredibly important that we focus on these aspects when it comes to addressing drug use in a younger population. If you're going to address drug use by only ever trying to prevent it by telling kids not to use drugs, then sadly it's going to fail. Quite often or not, the reason why young people use drugs is because, this disconnection that is there, largely caused because of, again, failure of public policies, a situation where the inflation rate is fucking skyrocketing. Is like a 20-30% bump in inflation, and meanwhile the average wage is increasing by, did I say like 3 to 4% or something like that? absolutely scandalous. But meanwhile, cannabis is the major problem for kids. In fairness, Bobby, come on now, man. Come on now, dude. Come off the stage. So I look forward to listening to this. Again, I will give it a good, honest breakdown afterwards. I'll be really examining everything Bobby says, and I'll have a lot of evidence there to back up any arguments I'll be putting forward to statements made by Dr. Bobby Smith. Because again, this guy's a bit of a misinformation expert. He'll go on and he'll spout stuff. He'll say some statement about a study or something along those lines. Or maybe he'll make a statement and not even back it up with facts. And if that is the case, then that's just going to make my work easy. But I will be coming back with facts to disrepute anything that guy says. Apologies there if I've been ranting on for ages. Constant Gardner, yes. Irish guy vlogs. What's happening? Irish guy vlogs. Soul Rebel in the audience as well. What's going down? Soul Rebel. So Constant Gardner, that's all your fault, talking about the Zoom call, and then we fucking went off on a thing about Bobby. But John O'Regan, what's happening, John? Hope you are well there, John. Guys, check out last Friday's episode if you haven't seen it yet. John O'Regan joined me on the episode, and we pretty much spent the entire episode having a discussion about his court case, and then we went off on a few little tangents towards the end. But John O'Regan is in court tomorrow. You might pop it in the comments there, John, as to what you're actually up in court tomorrow for. Is it just personal possession of cannabis, or was there plants involved? What's the scale of the charge in that 20-minute rant? I could rant for a lot longer on that, about that guy Bobby Schmidt and some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. I think there's definitely, if we take the M out of that there, I think we might have a more suiting name for the guy, you know. Yeah, leave that one to yourselves. You know what's Smith without an M? Others, Darren Newcomb, what's happening, Darren? Rain and Rocks out in the audience as well. Billy Bonds, what's going on? Billy, Amy Riley out there as well. Twisted, what's going down? Twisted, a buddy of mine actually got a couple of your seeds from GB, and they're very happy with them. I can't remember what the strains were. Again, GB said it, but there's some very nice genetics there. So my regards there from my buddy. Monsieur Fudge, what's happening? Mr. Fudge out in the audience. Canaman A3 out in the audience as well. Who else we got out there? Man Falls was saying hi to yourself a while ago, sir. Teresa, what's happening, Teresa? Hi Monday, folks, Teresa says. Oh, I better fill my bag up, actually. 20-minute rant. My bloody bowl is just heating up. Yes. Teresa says, hi Monday, folks. I'm scrapping my phone off my cooker. Stoner was. What did you do, Teresa? What did you do? Did you leave the cooker get hot and then just put your phone up on top of it? Oh no. Oh no. Chew. Excuse me. Gesundheit. High and Homegrown, what is happening, High and Homegrown? Any word in our buddy there, Simpa? Did Simpa get to have a chat with our buddy Outlaw? You see this SH1T there with Outlaw? We'll just pop it up and screen him. We'll get back to the hellos in a second. Where is he? He sent me an old email there recently. Was it over my other email address? Yes, it was. Can't forget this. There he is. Got this one off of Outlaw email there earlier. Think you were talking about this, Mr. High and Homegrown, Mr. Percy or Mackie. Yo, folks, I hope you're good. Don't want to take up your time, so I'll keep it short. He says, shut down. So my Outlaw Insta got shut down at 88k because of a mad announcement. Everything's a mad announcement with this guy. But he still hasn't got that mad decriminalisation actually under wraps, has he? Because people are still going to court and fucking getting done for it, dude. So, sorry. But not only that, but my personal beat selling page. So, I don't know, is he selling like Dre beats? Or beat as in his tunes, his music? So, he's selling his music. So maybe he's got a personal page where he sells his own music, and because that uses the same email address that is associated with his Outlaw address, both of them got taken down by Instagram. Maybe somebody complained him for spreading mad lies. I don't know what's the story with this guy. He says here still, we've had over 150 acquittals, and most of my team think we can get legal precedent this year. But again, as I say, like, who are these 150 people? Why haven't they come forward? What's going on here? Like, something stinks. Outlaw members, he's saying, together we can do this. I've never asked for donations and still don't want to. I want to offer you a crazy good membership that will help us all. But this is his crazy good membership. And again, shout out to the Patreons out there. You're legends. But patrons, like, what you send me, that's a donation. Like, that's pretty much what Patreon is. These are donations, like, so you can call them memberships or whatever you want, like, but any one of these that a person clicks to, this is a choice to donate to you whatever the aforementioned value is, so these are donations, and you are asking for them whether you like to do it or not. You are doing it, sir. So it's funny. A lot of mixed messages coming from this guy. Sorry, just fixing the box there over on the other screen. Make sure you can see all your things coming through. Boom. So yes, go back to this email there anyway. And there is the email again. He says, with your membership, you will get, and I'm very interested actually to get the membership, because basically you will get protection, fast track services after 1 month subscription. So you have to wait a month before you get this. You'll get a guaranteed response every time from both my legal service, which is currently has a 5,000 plus waiting list. 5,000. So members only live chat and direct contact with me. But what's the crack? Have you met up with Simpa yet, buddy? It's a simple enough old process to get on Zoom. But access to exclusive Outlaw members events, apparently that's happening in April 2022. So Outlaw members only. So interesting. And behind the scenes and exclusive content. Your membership will also help fund my Outlaw Legal Aid, which can continue to help more people avoid having their lives damaged by unjust cannabis laws which aim to change the law. Help fund my activism and personal legal fees. More funding equals more madness. Help fund the government court cases and hold them to account. Help fund my humanity projects with homeless people and rough sleepers. Huge project coming in summer. Much more. Check the link. What's coming up? A huge advertising campaign around the UK to stop cannabis stigma. £20,000. Be part of it. But this is funny. Like, he's got a waiting list of 5,000 people, but he's putting £20,000 into an advertising campaign. Like, surely, like, if his thing is, as he says up here, like, acquittals, 150 acquittals, then surely it's much more beneficial to be putting the 20 grand there towards this fucking 5,000 plus waiting list to start clearing it, so you can work on this thing that you talk about up here, which is called setting a legal precedent. This guy's full of shit, guys. Sorry for fucking keep hammering on about this guy, like, but call a spade a spade. This guy is a fucking scammer, it seems like. It really does. Like, I'm sorry, he might be doing some mad activism as he describes it, like, but in reality, all I see here is a guy who's just doing mad publicising of himself, his own name, his own brand, the Outlaw brand. Like, who is he? Respect, Outlaw. Who's Outlaw? That could be fucking anybody. There could be a number of people up there, and again, this could be applied. There's, what was that situation? Oh, look at this, like, is it a relationship with climate activist? Activist deceived into a relationship with Met officer. So guys, think about this for a second, okay? And Mackie, I've sent this link to you, to this link. Activist deceived into the relationship with Met Officer wins £229,000 compensation. This lady by the name of Kate Wilson, she was misled by an undercover officer into spending a 2-year, getting into a multi-year relationship. I think it was 2+ years, where they actually conceived a child as part of this, I believe. Again, I could be mixing up stories here now, but I definitely do think that's a part of it. I'm just going to control F, pregnant, child, baby. Okay, maybe I'm mixing up the stories, but nonetheless, she's an environmental activist. She was deceived into being in a 2-year relationship by an undercover officer. She won her compensation claim against this guy because it was extremely fucking cruel as to what went on. The judge actually described it as grossly violating her human rights in 5 ways. So very interesting there to see that. But again, you know, if the undercover fucking authorities are willing to go to these lengths, then why wouldn't they do this? Why wouldn't they? Like, in fairness, like, again, you go back to Bobby Smith. We go back to Bobby Smith, who's only speaking out now because, you know, there's a growing trend there in the normalization of the use of cannabis, because we're all learning that it's not as dangerous as what we were once led to believe it was. So again, this is what's going on. So why wouldn't the authorities employ, you know, their double agent in this situation? Why wouldn't they? Of course they would. They definitely would. So that's kind of my observation in this one, anyway. Believe it if you want to. Apologies there. No, I'm just trying to fix this because I've lost all your comments. Yo, come back. There we go. They're all back there. So we'll pop that off. That was just an email I received from Mr. Outlaw out there, so that was a little update there from Outlaw on 420 News. Rain and Rock says, made the chicken stew at my AVB this weekend. Nice, very nice. I actually made some butter before with like some trim that a buddy had given to me. And what I done afterwards, you know, I was after straining all of the butter out of the trim, but there was still like a lot of butter left in it. So what I done is I actually sprinkled some like thyme and stuff like that onto it. I stuck it into the freezer and I froze it. And the next time then I was cooking a chicken, I took that frozen little block. It was only a little block. It was enough to fit into the chicken cavity. Yes, that was a very delicious cooked chicken. The butter that was in the leaf came out, and any bit of kind of flavor, aroma and stuff like that was there in the leaf, it kind of went into the meat as well, which was it was interesting. I wouldn't say it was amazing. I wouldn't say it was the most tasty thing ever. It was it was certainly grassy, but not in a bad way. But with AVB, maybe that's not the best way to go. You definitely want to be getting that sugar or something in there to kind of add to the flavor. Yes, hit that like button. Nice one, Mackie. Tell him what to do. Hit that like button. I think we have a little thing here for that, do we? There we go. We have a subscribe button anyway. We don't have a like button. Do we? No, we don't have that one. Amy Riley says, sounds good, Martin. Got the email this morning. We'll check it out. Saturday sounds good. Look forward to the hangout, Amy. And again, if you have any questions, any stories, or anything like that you want to talk about, the floor will be all yours. I'll try to make as much time as possible there for everybody to get their 2 cents in, and yeah, it's an enjoyable experience for everyone too. CG, Constant Gardener, looking forward to chatting with you all on Saturday. Yes, it should be good fun. Canaman says looking forward to Saturday as well. Yes, Darren Newcomb as well. That's because people are saying that to get away with the so-called crime. Yeah, that's pretty much what, again, Dr. Garrett McGovern talked about. He had many situations there where people were coming into him presenting with cannabis addiction, and it wasn't a cannabis addiction. It was just a case that they got caught with cannabis, and to be going in and working with the addiction services is seen to be preferential to the outcome of your court case. So any facts or any statistics out there around cannabis addiction are heavily skewed because of this. And that's no secret to most of the people here on this. That won't be no news to the people here on this Papa Gummy Bear says, wow, so she writes a gossip column in a dog shit tabloid. Cancelled. But what does that really say about Bobby Smith? Do you know, he won't come on and have a proper discussion with, say, somebody like Dr. Garrett McGovern, who's a peer of his. No, he'll go on and talk to some fucking, again, a columnist and from a fucking dog shit tabloid, and that's your description there. And I probably don't disagree with you either. Like Sunday World, it's not the greatest. But it is what it is. But Bobby Smith's willing to talk to that lady unchallenged. She's got no experience there. Again, I'll listen to the 45 minutes and I'll see if she challenges some of what he says in it. And I'll get back to yourselves with an in-depth breakdown of that episode. Anthony Mooney says the harm principle of liberty, or liberty principle, numbers of people deciding to utilise cannabis is increasing, so governments have a growing responsibility to society to regulate and reduce the harms. Yep. There was a very recent study done within Europe, but again, it was studying drug-using populations, so again, there was a very high likelihood for people to be using drugs who partook in the study. But I found that 93% of the people who partook in it, and there was almost 50,000 people partook in the study, 21 states across Europe, and 93% of respondents had used cannabis at least once within the last 12 months. A huge amount of number. Cannabis is by far the most regularly used illegal drug out there. And we're doing untold harms by keeping it illegal. So certainly, yes, those principles will be coming into play, and the governments will have to act. They have to act. They can't keep their head buried in the sand any longer, you know. Nice one, Poppy Gummy Bear. That interview was great. Good, nice one for that. Scatness says Palpatine would be proud of Bobby. And Shilbert UK as well. Good afternoon, all. Nice one, Shilbert. Fwetch as well. Hey, at Martin's World and all. Does Outlaw make the headlines today? He did indeed. Is he a he? I'd assume he is. Chilbert as well says glad to join you for some talk action. Yes. 35 minutes in, guys. Time flies when you're having fun. I really do enjoy these discussions here with yourselves. I really do like the back and forth and to be able to kind of share this news with you as well. Others in the hot box. Chilbert says spring is in the air and beans are popping. Nice, that's the job. Good one there, actually, Chilbert as well. Chilbert is right. If you want to be starting seeds indoors at the moment, then the windowsill is a pretty good spot right now. We're getting lots of good sunshine, so the daylight now, it's increasing, so you could start cracking your seeds indoors. You could start the germination process indoors. That's giving you a lovely head start, but keep in mind, if you are starting indoors now, that you won't really be able to move outdoors until, you know, maybe late March or early April, possibly, depending on how the weather goes. But if the last frost isn't until like kind of late March, then you really won't be planting out until April. But certainly, so thanks for the reminder, Chilbert. If you've got the room, guys, if you've got a private windowsill at home, now is the time that you could be getting something ready to be moving outdoors. I would definitely recommend, if you're using photo period seeds, go to a company like Sensei Seeds or any kind of company there from places like Holland, and look at the region which the seed is produced for, and the month of which it flowers in. You want something that's ready for harvest by September, like August late, like earliest, or sorry, no, September, October latest. If you're going into October for harvest, you're into dangerous territory. But by right, you really want it for September. Then once we actually get closer then to April or March, get some autos going. I would certainly recommend, I've seen that there are some people recommending autos. I would certainly recommend that, but I would be holding off on the autos until the weather is better. So I wouldn't be starting those until like at least April, until certainly the last frost has gone by, and then getting them out as soon as possible once they're hardy enough to get to the to your chosen outdoor location. Then, you know, that's when you would make that transition there, you know, once they're hardy enough. But with autos, I wouldn't be like you can get some nice. I don't know about auto strains, but you can certainly get some good genetics there, cheap enough. Cheap and cheerful is what you want to keep it, because success is in numbers, really, in the outdoor guerrilla planting game. You want a few locations, a few plants, because again, you have unforeseen circumstances where plants go missing, plants get eaten, and stuff like that happens. So don't put all your eggs into one basket as well. So right now as well is a good time to get out there. A lot of the vegetation has been kind of culled back by some of the colder weather. So it's easier to kind of find locations that might be useful for planting, because if you have to break a pad in there, then nobody's in there. So just think these things, think it logically through. But if anybody's any questions or anything like that about guerrilla growing, get over to the guys at Percy's Grow Room. I'm sure they've got some good threads over there on guerrilla growing. John O'Regan, nice one. I see John saying the response there. I'm appealing a conviction for possession and cultivation and a fine of a couple of €100. My solicitor told me this morning that I have community service as well. Nice one for that update there, John. And Cassidy Strugas was asking how many plants. I don't know, did John reply? John's appreciating the support coming through. How many plants was it, John? I believe it was a small number. I think it was like 3 or 4, if memory serves correct. I know you told me before, but if you can in the comments there, just give us a bit of an update as to how many plants as well. Nice one, thanks. Manfall says, what'll I buy, lads? Super Silver Haze, Guava Dog, Strawberry Haze, or the bit of hash? Ooh. I know I have a bit of a preference here on this one, because I've got the cannabis at the moment. I got some nice gelato, but I would certainly be choosing a bit of hash. I think hash lasts a bit longer as well, depending on how you consume it. For me, I kind of like to do a little bowl of hash. So yeah, it lasts long, because those bowls, a little bit of hash gives you nice old hits. Chilbert's asking which level of membership are you going to go for, Martin? I don't know. Support Outlaw. I suppose I have to go for the 29.50 one. You know, I want to be able to have a weekly chat with him. You know. Scammer alert. Publicity stuntman, nice. Scatness, what's happening? Scatness says, at Martin's World, at least one of the climate activists had a child or two from these undercover cops. Yeah, I knew that was a part of the story, Scatness, but I just couldn't find it in that one. At least not with my word search. But I can recall, I knew I wasn't fucking imagining things, that was a part of one of these stories, because I wasn't a lone undercover cop. Yeah, you're right, there was probably a bit of an operation there. I don't know what they called it, but I wondered, did she name the child after the operation? Operation Tara, you know? But yeah, it's sick. So if you think about it, like, John, is it that unlikely that Outlaw could be there to deceive us, to mislead us? John Regan, yes, nice one there for the comments. Johnny says, hi everyone, and thanks for the support. John's gotten a lot of support sent his way there after the last discussion there last week, and after getting a few posts up on Facebook. So good stuff, good to hear. Nice to see the love in the community being spread, and certainly being shown towards John there as well. We're all behind you, John. Just know that. Others in the comments, just looking through. What's happening, Pods? Welcome to the show. Pods 4420 dropping into the hot box. Others out there. Darren Newcomb saying go for autos outside, and he's also adding that Dutch Passion are good for outdoor seeds. So there you go, guys, another Dutch company there, Dutch Passion. I would certainly recommend those too. Sensei seeds happen to be a favourite of mine, so they're always going to be the first one I'd kind of recommend. But Dutch Passion are certainly a very good seed bank as well. And they've definitely got a few good outdoor varieties and some good autos there as well. John Phantom saying an original autoflower like Lowrider number 2, small and good. window plant. So something that you could grow on your window from start to finish, I believe John is saying here. But John, you're over in Florida, aren't you? So you're free to grow them on your windows. Lucky ducky. But yeah, the lowrider, certainly it's an old school favourite. What's the other one? There was another kind of one that came very recommended by a friend of mine. Red Dwarf. I think that's another one that was done by Dutch Passion, and it's another autoflower variety that you could do outdoors. So check that out as well. So that's Dutch Passion coming in recommended by Darren Newcomb. It's a nice one there, Darren. And he says big pots for autos too, guys. So give those roots lots of room to grow. That's what Darren is recommending. Nice big pot. A big pot, big roots. And you know what to say about big roots. Big buds. So a good recommendation coming in there from Darren Newcomb. Again, if you're not growing in pots, if you're planting right into the soil, then it's always good to pre-dig a hole, a nice wide circle. But remember as well that the cannabis plant not only likes to spread its roots out, it likes to get a nice deep root down. So if you're going to be doing some preparation of the ground, if you're going to be doing a bit of amendments, if you're going out there digging it, get as deep as you're comfortable with digging. There's no harm with going down maybe kind of 2 foot, 3 foot, nice deep. Get it down, because you just want to dig down there to make sure that there's no big boulders there that are going to impede upon the root structure as it goes down. It's a lot of effort to go to, but again, if you're wanting to maximize the output from that area, that's kind of what's needed to be done. You'd dig down a hole, you dig your little trench, you'd fill it with some maybe fish blood bone meal, you'd fill it with some maybe chicken manure pellets. There's a few other bits and pieces you could put down there, seaweed. There's a few things you could kind of put in there and layer it in then as you're filling back in the hole. You can kind of throw it in, layer back in the hole, put in a few more amendments, layer it back in, and water it down then again. Let it sit there, let it cook, let those amendments be broke down a little bit before you plant out as well. But again, a lot of things you could be doing to really maximize your output from an outdoor grow. And I'm happy to talk about them more as well if people so wish. Keep the questions coming in if you have any more questions out there, or if you have any kind of more comments, recommendations to make to people. I'm more than happy to spend time on that, because we're really coming close upon the time now which we're going to be doing our outdoor shenanigans. John O'Regan, Cassidus Drogas says he's replying here with I think it was around 10 plants they found. I'm not sure. So about 10 plants. Again, personal possession. I think 10 plants is personal possession. I know some people will say, 10 plants, but like John was probably growing them outdoors. He was probably growing them, it was probably like some that were probably scabby old things that they weren't in the greatest conditions. Because I don't believe that John was growing under a light at the time, at least trying to think back to that conversation we had a few months back. I believe it was just kind of windowsill type of stuff and outdoor kind of stuff out your back garden. Where is that Bobby Smith interview? DB Woodcraft is asking. I'll pop it up there again for you, DB. Sunday World. So over there, this is the headline. Excuse me. And if you go down along, there's the episode down at the bottom of the article. Episode 66 featuring Bobby Smith. It's 45 minutes long. So as I said, I listened to about 10 or 15 minutes of it. I'll finish off the rest of it. The first 10 or 15 minutes, they pretty much talked about heroin. They haven't really got into the cannabis side of it yet, but I look forward to it. I look forward to listening to this, and should be an interesting one. Because I suppose most of the contribution, most of the sound bites we've gotten from Bobby Smith over the last while have been like 5-10 minute pieces that he's been kind of appearing here there on national radio. Then we get the articles as well that he'd take part in on the newspapers and stuff, the news media outlets. But now we actually have a 45 minute kind of start to finish discussion with him. I think it should have been longer. I would have liked if it was longer, but the fact that it's 45 minutes is the longest we've gotten that I'm aware of anyway with Bobby Smith. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a good it'll be good to get the opportunity to poke holes in these arguments. But yeah, Sunday World there, DB Woodcraft. Hopefully you got that. Nicola Talent, episode 66. Yeah, Castle's asking what stage of growth were the plants. Tony Q had the value reduced based on young plants. Yeah, it's interesting observation there as well. That Tony Q, again the Mr. Potato, he was able to get the valuation of the cannabis plants he got caught with. He got caught with 30 out of them, and he got the value decreased in an effort to kind of reduce the severity of the punishment he was going to face. I believe they were trying to keep it out of the circuit court, but they couldn't really get the value down anyway. Nonetheless, he still only got a slap in the wrist. For Grace, what's happening, Ferg? Welcome to the show, buddy. Pods4420 says Outlaws even. There's a few of them. John Regan says, I was thinking that unless they know what sex the plants were, then half of them had zero value. Yeah, and a buddy of mine done some seeds there recently, John, and he actually done 15 seeds, and only 4 of them turned out to be female. So again, it's not always 50-50, but that's not a bad way to go for. John Phantom says no medicinal hair is only for excuse me, is only for 2.5 ounces of flour and 14 grams of concentrate every 35 days. You are not allowed to grow in Florida. Interesting. Sorry, I didn't realize that, John Phantom. I thought Florida were like pretty good when it comes to that. It's kind of counterproductive, really. It seems to be a good state as well in terms of the climate there for being able to grow your own cannabis outdoors. But look, it is what it is. I suppose it's unfortunate. Well, what's the crack over there, John? Is there people over there actively campaigning to change those laws to allow for home growing? If so, who are they? I'd be interested to know and have a discussion with them if you think it's worthwhile. If you think there's anybody of interest over there in Florida, pop me an email, martinsworldpodcast@gmail.com. And I certainly would like to learn a bit more and hear more from activists over there as well. I think they're probably the most interesting people to talk to. I know some people have said that I'm a bit interesting. At least I've had a few offers there for podcasts, so I must be some bit. John Fandip saying conservatives are in control here in Florida. Everybody comes for the weather. It is mostly young people here trying to squeeze something out of it, and old people retiring. Not much between. That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate to hear. Some of the older, less educated population. I suppose a lot of them not probably in positions to be able to grow on their own, or whatever the situation might be, and just go and buy on their own is more of convenience to them. So yeah, it makes sense then that the law is the way it is. Fill up my bag again. Ah, yes, there you go. I knew that was the case. That there was 2 plants under a 600 watt light that was coming in from John. So again, 2 plants that could have been doing anyway half decent or very well, and then the rest of them were windowsill grows, I'd imagine. So not very big at all. Scanner says 10 plants, that's 4 in flower, 4 seedlings, veg stage, and 2 to play around with for research or create seeds. 10 plants are easily personal amount for perpetual growers. Yeah, exactly, man. I think you could argue these numbers all day. You could always come up with a reason as to why the number should be bigger. But I'm definitely agreeing with you there. It needs to be higher. Other comments coming in. John Phantom says 50 years from now, people are going to look back at our hempless society and laugh at our stupidity with the ubiquity of uses for hemp. Yeah, you're certainly not wrong there, John. There's going to come a time in a not too distant future, you reckon 50 years, excuse me, I hope that's a lot sooner, when we be looking back, reflecting, as to what was and what now is, in terms of, the us utilizing this plant for the benefits that it can offer society, not just the medicine that comes from the cannabis flowers, but from the hemp fibers found within the plants. Then there's many benefits that we could go on there. We could do hours of a show here, just going through the many uses of hemp and the much research that there is there backing it. And we could go on down some roads of conspiracy as well. Was this stuff suppressed for reasons, to benefit fucking petrochemical industries and stuff like that? again, there's a lot of there's a lot of avenues you could explore with this story, because it's a highly complex story, spanning the last 100 years. But again, let's hope that within the next year or two, we'll do this prohibition, and within the next 10 years, we'll start to utilize this plant for the fucking wondrous plant that it is for us as humans on this planet. Dave, lumping cannabis in with other drugs like heroin is going to make legalization harder. Cannabis and heroin have nothing in common, except the two of them have been prohibited, and by prohibiting them, they're both more dangerous as a result of that. They've got that in common. The people who sell them as well, quite often, are not. They've got that in common too. But cannabis and heroin, it's apples and oranges. You are right in that regard. The effects of cannabis, the effects of heroin are completely different. But I think the argument for legalization of both has a lot of crossovers, a lot of similarities, not identical. But certainly a lot of crossovers. Arguments we could make for legalization of cannabis. I'd imagine like a vast majority of those arguments could be made for the legalization of heroin as well. So again, I don't want to be looking down on any other drug users or any other drugs. They all come with their uses. They all come with their potential for abuse. The danger is in the lack of education, the ignorance, and the prohibition. Pots 4420, Nicola Talentless. She loves to stir up shite between the crimes with her rubbish reporting. Yeah, there certainly is a bit of kind of a one-sidedness to her reporting, that's for sure. John Phantom says then, yeah, they probably will have home growing in Florida in the next 2 years. I would guess anything can happen. I have $500 worth of tent and stuff on a wish list from Amazon. Nice. Happy days. Fingers crossed there for you that they change those policies soon, and that you can be growing your own plants down there in Florida. But hopefully not in a tent, unless that tent is an outdoor tent and you're utilizing that sunshine, baby, because you're in that sunny state of Florida, man. You got that, isn't that what it's called? Isn't that, or is that California? Is that California, the sunshine state? I thought that was fucking Florida. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But yeah, you got all those the orange, sunny delight. That was from Florida, wasn't it? But again, it'd be just counterproductive, all these efforts being made in terms of reducing the harms to our environment, if we just go encouraging people to be growing cannabis indoors under heavy energy consuming lights. Makes no sense. Yes, DB Woodcraft as well. Hashtag Freedom Convoy 2022. I don't know if anybody has been watching that at all. I haven't seen a whole lot of it myself, but over there at the moment in Canada, there's a bit of a convoy going on with trucks. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but apparently it's a lot of people coming out now against the vaccine mandates. And it's not just people who are anti-vax. No, but by no stretch of the imagination, a lot of the supporters coming out are actually fully vaccinated, got their boosters and all of that stuff. What these people are coming out against is the mandating of the vaccination, as in making it mandatory. So yes, power to the Freedom Convoy 2022. So get the hashtag going if you're going to tweet about it or post about it on any social media. Certainly in supporter of that anyway, because it's a protest, I suppose. It's a convoy that's in support of bodily autonomy, which again is pretty much what we're on here about, is it not? Like we want autonomy over our body to either choose to or choose not to use cannabis. We shouldn't be forced into making a decision by fucking these threatening policies that the government put in place around prohibition. So yes, hashtag Freedom Convoy. Charlie Charleston, in Canada the standard is 4 plants, but you can apply for specific licenses to grow more, and they aren't that tough to get. Good to know, like 4 plants, happy days, but yeah, that's crazy. That's a very low number, isn't it? Imagine if you wanted to do a little micro grow or something like that, you just wanted to go seed to finish as quick as possible. You wanted to do like 12 different strains or something all at once. You can't do that if you're only allowed 4 plants. It's evolves, isn't it? Like, you might have only got an ounce per plant or something like that if you're just working in a limited space, topping them and pruning them and all of that crack. But look, it is what it is. Nice one, Charlie, as well, and hopefully all is well over there in Canada. Hopefully it's not too cold. I imagine it's quite cold over there this time of year at the moment. Daily Talker as well, what's happening? He says, what up, man? Hunter K, here, you enjoying your prize? Nice. Plays one up there with you if you are enjoying that. Gelato's lovely from the vape. Dave is asking, anybody here ever sucked a dick for a joint? Should I do a poll? I would imagine the vast majority of people here would say no, unless they're into that sort of thing. And it was just like, okay, you're going to give me a smoke and I can suck your dick. Okay. And if that's you, man, no judgment, man. Oh, no judgment. What's that? One man's treasure, or one man's treasure is another man's trash, is it? Or is it the other way around? One's trash is another man's treasure. Whatever floats your boat. These comments just keep on coming. And we're almost at 4:20 there again. Where's the 4:20 out there now? It's 4:20 and 40 seconds. Pop it up on screen. We got 39 seconds. Yeah. John Phantom's on the second floor of a condo. Florida is the sunshine state. Yes, I got that one right. He says I face north with no sunlight on my porch. Oh man, that's a bummer. Maybe your neighbour. Hopefully you got like good neighbours. Maybe your neighbour on the other side, you can come to a mutual arrangement where it's like, I'll get you the seeds, I'll get you the pots, but you just get the balcony. You know, you do the bit of watering and, you know, whatever, like, you know, come to a bit of an agreement. Yeah, and you'll share the burden of the trimming as well, you know, 50-50. Work it out. Yep, it's 4:20. Shout out to everybody in the Azores Islands. So I don't know, it's Casa de Strogas over there at the moment. And also to the people on Cape Verde. Whoop, whoop. Yes. So there we go, guys. Whoop, whoop. It is 4:20 again. 2 4:20s in the 1 hour. Yay. John Fan said it's nice in the summer with no direct sunlight. I want what I can go to one of my condos, 2 pools. Well, that ain't too bad. You know what I mean? You can't grow cannabis, but at least you can go swimming in a swimming pool. I would fucking love that over there, right? You know, if I had a swimming pool, you know, nearby at, you know, out my back garden or some shit like that, I'd be sick. I know my sister's over in Australia and she's got a swimming pool out her back garden, and we'd be ringing there some days and the kids are out in the pool, and it's just like, oh man, that's so cool. They're just gone back to school over there now in Australia. Actually, it's just like coming to the end of their summer. But yeah, having your own backyard swimming pool, epic. Closest we get here is like summertime for a week or so. You get to put out those little inflatable paddling pools, and the thing's bloody covered in grass before you know it, and the kids are jumping in and out, and they're just like, happy days. Daily Hawker says, yeah man, it's great smelling and great smoking, bud. The high is very good too. Nice bedtime smoke in my experience. So guys, I'm really happy you're enjoying your prizes. So that's Daily Talker and Hunter K. Shout out to Amy, end over to Amy as well, who's not in the audience at the moment, but who's probably enjoying our prize, or will be later on this evening if it's not already gone. Don't mention the V word. Sorry, I shouldn't really. People will be accusing me of spreading misinformation. Dave Sarah says, I've been vaxxed, but if they make it mandatory, I'll refuse to take it. Yeah, I've heard a few people saying that as well, and I'm hearing a few people as well quite peed off because of like the what was it, like, oh, they thought once they got the 2 vaccines they'd be able to go to the pubs and stuff, but then they brought in the booster and they're like, oh no, you can't go in there. And now it seems, even if with the foreign travel, I know you can go back into the pubs now, but with the foreign travel, if you want to go to Spain, it seems like you kind of need the booster, or else you need a PCR test, or some places actually require both, or just the PCR test, which is quite interesting. But I know a few people are just kind of like, oh no, I'm not getting the booster now. I got the other ones, but I'm not getting the booster because, I don't know, I feel like I've been made a fool of. But again, not telling people not to get it. I didn't get it. But I didn't get it because we've got a history of heart problems in my family, so I'm fucking certainly worried. And I just won't be rushing out to get it until more is known. Daily Talker says, how much do the guards value one plant at again? Imagine getting caught with a shitload of seedlings, like hundreds. One plant is €800, Daily Talker. And at one stage there last year, I can remember before I done some of the plantings, I had like, was it like 40 odd plants or something like that? I had a lot of plants there at home. And yeah, it was a dodgy situation. I was just like, oh geez, I better get these out and plant them quick. Which I did. Hunter K says the gelato's tasty. He went through it way too fast. Daily Talk says the prize is very top stuff, very pungent and very clean. Nice. Happy days. Charlie Sheen says $20. Others as well. Happy for Monday 420 motivations. That's Casa de Strogas. Viva Ia Verde. Is that where you are? Is that the name of the island or something like that? Ia Verde? John Phantom says, oh yeah, Travelocity said 2020 beach of the year was St. Pete Beach, 4 miles from me. What is that in kilometers? Like 4 miles? Yeah, I suppose you could say like somewhere between like 6 and 7, I'd imagine. Did it boom boom. John Phantom Beach of the year in the US. Obviously, yeah, John Phantom's over there in Florida. Lucky John, beach of the year. Just rub it in there, John. Just rub it in there, boy. He was like, as if it wasn't the back pool wasn't enough. You know, I got the beach of the year just down the road from me as well. Yeah, boy, that's right, right. Did you want John just put some salt into my wounds there, boy? I'm just happy the sun was shining over here today. It was still like about, what was that, 3 or 4 degrees over here, like Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's fucking cold. But sunny, but cold. No, I don't know, it was a 3 or 4. I think it might have been a bit higher, 7 or 8. Others in the comments, Daily Talker, I had no doubt Amy is too enjoying her prize, certainly. She's probably at college right now, so once she go home, I'm sure she would. Daily Talker says, fuck it lads, I'm going handing myself in with 1,000 seedlings valued at 800,000. I'll gladly help you carry them down and take ownership as well. You know, I'll help you plant them as well. I'm sure others can go do it as well. It'll be a funny old campaign. Daily Talker says our 1,000 germinated seeds should do. Yeah, 1,000 germinated seeds should do as well. The act of germination is where you've crossed the line. You're now breaking the law. That's €800 per germinated seed. He's in the Green Island, of course. Nice, and he's not talking about Ireland. Well, it might be the Emerald Isle, but we're not very bloody green over there. You know, I do my best to make it a bit green. Oh, we get one more bag off that volcano. And then we'll have to refresh the bowl. I think 3 is the magic number for me. 3 little bags, and you can definitely see that there's a big reduction in the smoke, the vapor that's in the bag afterwards. But 3 is the magic number for me. Dave just flipped a flower today. Nice, happy days, Dave. Fingers crossed there, and best of luck. I hope the harvest goes well for you, and that it's a very productive growing season. Daily Talker as well says, nice one, Dave. Wish you the best harvest. Woohoo, lots of love there in the audience for Dave. That bloody volcano bowl gets very hot. What's that meme that goes around the place? You know, like this is Dave. Be like Dave. Yeah, there's Dave in the audience there, guys. Be like Dave. Oh, Dave grows his own cannabis at home. You should all be more like Dave. Sorry, my bloody microphone guard started jumping all over the gap. So guys, 420 news. Yes, we've been doing a lot more chatting than we have been newsing. So other headlines making today's 420 news, and it's within Ireland. And again, it's For me, I just think it's worth bringing this on. I don't think there was no cannabis in this, but again, it's just an appalling situation created by prohibition. It's coming out of Dublin, and it's an article that was over on the Irish Times, and it's 2 men arrested after a seizure of firearms, silencers, and heroin in Tala. Now that to me, is frightening because like I've been up to Dublin, I've been up to Tala, I've been up there for sporting events with the kids. The kids go up there for the Thai boxing and stuff like that. And to think that there's people up there going around with firearms and silencers, that's absolutely atrocious. Because as well above in Tala, there's like some of the fighters we have down at the gym. There'd be adult fight nights. And you just don't know who's showing up to these events. And if there's a situation being created out there where you've got people in the community who are going around armed and dangerous, and the only reason why they're armed and dangerous is because they're a part of the drug trade, where violence is the central part of that because the trade is prohibited. And if we were to unprohibit that trade, we could do away with a lot of this these fucking just uncomfortable situations. I don't know how best to word it, but to be like for anybody living above there in Tala, that's a scary situation. I like to imagine being in that neighborhood. Wherever the neighborhood was, it's 3 residential properties. Imagine being near to any of those residential properties. Were they all in the one housing estate or what? But there was 70 grand's worth of heroin and 2 men in their 20s arrested. So again, they're only young fellas. 2 men in their 20s, whether it be the early or late 20s, they're still only young fellas. They're not long graduated from their teenage years is kind of a point I'm making. So again, to think that these young, foolish fellas are out there running around with guns that have silencers on them, that's disturbing. I think that's the word to use. Disturbing is the word to use. And a situation that needn't be the case. It's just created because of the prohibition of these drugs. Again, if people out there who use heroin, like again, Professor Carl Hart, and if they were able to go down and get their heroin in a safe, controlled manner, and they're educated about their heroin use, then that should be afforded to a person. If a person's got an addiction to heroin, then they should be afforded an avenue where they can get access to that heroin freely and again be afforded other services there to address maybe the underlying issues driving their addiction. But again, the topic of heroin, it's a very emotive one. A lot of people out there have lost loved ones to heroin, but again, you listen to Dr. Carl Hart and he's talking about it. Quite often or not, the people who die from like heroin overdoses, quite often or not, it's poly drug use. Again, there's other underlying things. There's years of drug abuse that goes with the overdose. So it's not always like the heroin that drives the overdose. Except in the situations where a person gets out of prison. That's an interesting situation where a person's tolerance has gone down. They get out of prison and then they inject themselves with heroin and they have an overdose then as a result, which could fucking be fatal as well. And that's quite often or not a cause of death for people who use drugs. To go into prison, to come out of prison, to go back on the drugs and bang, they're dead. But again, this situation where guns have been found in communities, it's just disturbing. The seizure is part of the Garda Síochána's National Anti-Drug Strategy, Operation Tara. Stop. Just stop it already. Just stop it. Just the government have already supported the idea of supervised injection centres. Open up the supervised injection centres, invite in the people who are addicted to heroin by saying, hey guys, look, we're going to give you free heroin at this addiction centre and you have to use it here. That's the only catch, you have to come in here, you have to use it. And guess what? Look, we have these little, what would you call them? Therapy rooms or something like that. A place where a person can go and receive some therapy after they've consumed their heroin, whether it be through injection or smoking. Again, you get them in with the free heroin. Is there going to be a problem with dealing outside? No. Why would there be a problem with dealing outside? Because they're getting free heroin inside. So why in the name of God would you go out and buy heroin off of somebody outside if you're getting free heroin inside? Dealers go away because now there's no more money in it. How is there money in it if the guys are getting it for free inside? So again, disturbing situation above there in Dublin, but it's not just confined to Dublin either. This is grown a problem that's grown beyond Dublin. We see these stories coming out of places like Cork, out of Limerick, Galway, where weapons have been seized from properties in residential areas, and it's very disturbing now that it's continued, that it's allowed to continue to carry on by keeping in place the prohibition that fuels it all. So that's one headline coming out of Ireland there. And there's another headline that I wanted to pop up for you, and it's that it's coming out of Northern Ireland. This is coming out of the Belfast Telegraph.co.uk. So there's the headline there for you. Northern Ireland's oldest drug convict let his son peddle cannabis from the home. And it says dope house. That's the little sub headline there. Dope house conviction. Just one of those things. Says former soldier at 77 years of age. So this guy is a 77-year-old man, Norman Hagan Senior, up there in the north of Ireland. So he's a 77-year-old great grandfather, and he's become the oldest Northern Ireland man to be convicted over a drug dealing operation. So basically his son was allowed to sell cannabis from the house, and the father was sourcing the cannabis, the great grandfather, the father was sourcing the cannabis there for the son. So it was an interesting story. It's over there on the Belfast Telegraph.co.uk. But again, it's just a waste of time by the authorities. You got a guy here, he's 77. It's like, come on, what are you going to do? Lock him up? Like, this guy, come on. What threat is he? Seriously, he's no threat at all. So that's coming out of the north of Ireland, again, where they've got a lot of problems up there with weapons and all that crack as well. DB Woodcraft says, so 3 bags of a volcano equals how many joints? Well, to be honest, I'm not too sure. I don't know if you can see this right now, like, or how, like, much, like, so I think of that in the palm of my hand, just a little bowl. There, I think I've weighed it before. There's about like between 0.1 up to maybe 0.4 of a gram can go into this. So whatever you put into your joint, but about 0.1 to 0.4 of a gram. Right now, this is about like half loaded, maybe quarter loaded. So there's about 0.1 of a gram gone in there. And no, it's just gone into my jar. It's empty again. So again, depending on how much you put into your joint, that could be 1 to half a joint. Half a joint to 4 joints, actually, maybe, depending on what you put in. Dave saying here, it should be alright, Daily Talker. I wish I could veg for longer. Restricted by room there, is it? Tent size or something like that. Yeah, I don't have enough space to veg and flour, so I can't get a good perpetual going yet. So I flour when I'm running out a lot of the time. Nice, happy days. It's always good to have a little spare tent at the side for vegging, and a dedicated flour tent, alright. It's always handy, but if you ain't got the space, you ain't got the space. You work with what you got. I always look as well, there might be room above your tent. You might be able to stack something up top and get a small little veg space going. Get some little bonsai trees going. Hunter K says, going to spread some outdoors in April. Hopefully it will be in a shed that's all insulated. Nice, happy days. Oh, yummy. John Phantom says, yeah, you could have a store like the coffee shop in Amsterdam. When I went there in 2005 for my first legal cannabis, I loved it except for the weather. Yeah, the weather can be a bit hit or miss in Amsterdam, but it's always lovely around my birthday in September. Daily Talker says, yeah, I get you, Dave. Same story here, unfortunately. Sometimes I have to take breaks, then I have to smoke shitty street weed. Man, that's nothing worse. Nothing worse when you're used to good quality homegrown, and next you run out, you fall behind in your schedule, you mistime it, or whatever the case might be. You just don't have a grow going and a harvest ready by the time your jar's empty again, and then you're back to buying off the street. And it's just like, you're going back out and you're like, what's that? It's haze, by it's haze. And it's like, all right, yeah, you go back and it's just like, all right, that's definitely not haze. But yeah, street weed, it can be really hit or miss. Nothing better than a good connection there. Nice community of home growers. Epic. Canman83 says, grow your own, grow with a group, whatever. Just try to find a way to take the crime out of cannabis. Exactly, guys. I echo that again, but Canman83. Grow your own cannabis, guys. And if you can't grow your own, grow as part of a group. Just sign whatever needs to be signed with a friend and grow cannabis as a collective, maybe in an area that one of you is able to control. But whatever the case may be, just growing your own cannabis, solitary or collectively, needs to be done. Find a way to take it out of the criminals' hands. Dave says, yeah, avoiding having to smoke the shitty street weed becomes the game. And Daily Talk says, if you have ever thought about growing but have not yet started, what are you waiting for? We all need to grow and can help each other. And there you go, guys. Honestly, like it's crazy the amount of people that would be growing their own cannabis and you would probably never even know. The amount of people that you could be working with right now and you don't even know that they consume cannabis because you keep these things hidden from you. A lot of people who consume cannabis, they're quietly going doing it back after work. And on their own, they might go out the back garden, out away from their partner or whatever. They might even be hiding it from their partner. Sometimes, like that could be the case. It's fucking appalling, really, the situation some people find them in because of the stigma. Oops, sorry, just got a bit. I was making a point there. Brain fart. Growing your own cannabis, yeah, avoid them to smoke the shitty street weed becomes a game. If you ever thought about growing your own, that's what you're for yet. Yes, helping each other. That's the important one. Helping each other. That was the point I was going to make. Is that you mightn't even know who might be consuming cannabis or growing cannabis. So don't be waiting around. Just start growing your own cannabis. And come on here, use your little secret screen name, and we'll have our little meetups, and we'll be able to kind of learn who you can trust, make your friends, and support one another. If one of us goes down, then we all come to their aid. Again, much like we'll be doing for John O'Regan. If John O'Regan gets sent to prison for his crime, we're going to protest that. We're going to support John every second that he's behind those bars, if he finds himself in that situation. And I believe we have to extend that on beyond John to each and every one of us out there. So again, Daily Talker, Dave, if you're within Ireland, which I think both of you might be, and if you're growing cannabis, and if you need support, if you ever find yourselves in that situation, you've got it, guys. You've got it. And that's to anybody else out there who decides that they want to grow their own cannabis. And if you find yourselves at the wrong side of the law, then you've got my support as well, and the support of the show here and the community here. And I believe that's what we need to be working on. Strength in numbers and all of that. Daily Talk saying 100k to let someone buying weed. Is it just as illegal but way more dangerous, and it supports the black market? Everyone should consider a small personal grow. Yep. Small personal grow, guys. That's the way to go. Also, if you happen to have lots of THC strains, seeds, we can try planting a load for people to carry at a protest in March. Yeah, Daily Talker, doesn't even need to be THC strains unless they intend to bring them home and grow them on afterwards. Hemp strains will do the very same thing. The thing is, you're growing cannabis without a license, and hemp strains, low THC varieties of cannabis, they're cannabis. So it doesn't even have to be high THC seeds. I have a lot of seeds there donated to me, both high THC and both low THC. So yeah, we can get that worked on. I meant to actually send you seeds in the package, but I completely just slipped my mind. But we have loads here. Others out there commenting in the hot box. Dave, how are you getting clones to people? Clones are easy enough to send. There's some easy ways to send clones in the post and stuff like that. You should use a good envelope and have it sealed up in a nice kind of watertight sealed baggie. And Unpust delivers within like 24 hours. So as long as you're kind of sending it from Monday to Friday, maybe Monday to Thursday, it should be delivered promptly. And a lot of the times it does arrive safely enough. You could put it into a box as well and maybe stick Fragile on the box, and it's less likely to get crushed. But yeah, Unpust. Calman says, "Well, I've never sent. Just said I would. I would to try get people growing. Good man, Canaman. So I believe Canaman offered there earlier in the comments in the hot box. Must have missed that one. That he would send clones to people in the post. So fucking fair play, Canaman. Fair play. Nice. Got some like." Green screen is probably going to knock these out again, like, but got some small nugs of gelato here. Yes. Small tasty nugs. Chilbert, what's happening? Chilbert, he says, anyone thinking of going to Cannabis in March or Canna World Cup in Amsterdam in July? What? Canna World Cup? Can I enter for Ireland? What is that about? A Canna World Cup? That's news to me. So nice one, Chilbert UK, for that news here on today's 420 news. Amsterdam's World Cup, and that's happening in July, you say. So that's one to add onto the calendar, I would imagine. Just finish putting the buds into me grinder here now. But anybody out there answering Chilbert's question there in the hot box? Anybody planning on going to Cannabis? Anybody planning on going to Amsterdam's Canna World Cup in July? So Cannabis is happening in March. I've plans to go over there. Hopefully the flights there from Dublin don't go crazy. Have to get them booked actually. But I'm planning on getting over to Cannabis there in March, and yeah, I've definitely would be interested in getting back to Amsterdam. Whoops. Getting over to Amsterdam then in July. That would be really cool. Boom. And then Planet Earth Expo is happening in August. It's going to be a busy few months then. Oh. So nice one, Chilbert. And yeah, Chilbert mentioning Planet Earth Coventry in August. Be there or be square, he says. Yes, I'll be there. I'll be there. And I'll be square in all sorts of different shapes. Canaman83 says, hey, we all going to meet up soon. This thing is only starting. We are building this ourselves and creating our future. Yeah, Canaman. We're having, well, there's a little meetup down in Dungarvan on the 9th of February for a court case that's happening with myself. So if you happen to be nearby to Dungarvan, then that's going to be a bit of a public meetup. It's early morning. My court case is at 10:30 that morning, I think, is it? Or 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock or 10:30, but I'm going to be down there nice and early that morning myself. So if you happen to be around Dungarvan, 9th of February. If not, off the top of my head, then the next one is kind of 420. Others as well, you know, maybe kind of come March as the weather improves. Hopefully the weather's a bit better there in March. We can start doing some meetups around Cork City and other places as well if people have some locations. I know Daily Toker wanted to do some little 420 meetups and stuff like that above there. So maybe I can kind of get around, do little meetups in different areas. I'm game, guys. I'm game. Send me your recommendations. Daily Toker, let me know what the crack is there. We can organise a little meetup for above in Limerick, for below here in Cork, and other places as well. Whoops. Sorry, no, just packing up my bowl again. Grow and be happy, says Darren. Yes, I would definitely say that that's been my experience as well. When I was growing in the past, it was grow and be happy, man. When I was growing those plants, I was quite happy. It's a therapeutic experience. It's a very meditative experience looking after plants. It's very rewarding. But yeah, grow and be happy. Even from times I get to visit my friends grow, who's kind enough to gift us gelato and stuff like that. So again, shout out to the chef. But man, it's crazy. Like we could go in there and we'd sit down in front of the tent and we'd be just chatting away, and it was kind of like shit. There's like an hour's time after going by. We're just standing here chatting, looking at the plants. It's very, I don't know, it's therapeutic. Other comments coming in. Dave, I've a lot of reg seeds, but no femmes really. Got to pop like two beans to get like five males. Yeah, that is a bummer about the regular seeds, but sometimes you can get very lucky. I got a pack of regular seeds before, and I think it was a 10 pack, and there was like 9 females. I got one male. So that was really cool. I was like, oh yes, epic. But jumps, it is what it is. I've also gotten packs of fucking 5 natural seeds and gotten 5 males, which was a big bummer. And Ferg, absolute legend there. So Ferg getting an old 420 into the show. So you're a legend as always, Ferg. Thanks very much. And guys, if you got a time, if you're in Cork, or I don't know if Ferg does shipping elsewhere outside of Cork, but check out Cork Herbal Products. That's a company there set up by Ferg, and they're based here in Cork. But I do think that they have some shipping around Ireland as well. So he's got CBD products, he's got rolling trays, and stuff like that as well. Always a great supporter here on the show, and always a regular in the hot box as well. So that's Cork Herbal Products, guys. Check them out. They're on Facebook and stuff like that as well, I think. F. Mekian. Buying from the street is not a good feeling when you have grown your own. No, it is not. No, it is not. It's like, it just feels so dirty. You just feel like you're getting taken advantage of every time you're just having one of these exchanges, handing over 50 quid for, yeah, buy just 3.5 grams there, but next you go home and there's like 2.8 and you're like, that dirty bastard. You know the feeling, like, but that situation on the street is just not good, like. Amy Riley, however, I did have a nice conversation with a local shop lady and mentioned cannabis, and she gave me a good little pep talk. A good little pep talk. She tell you about how you're addicted, is it? Or what was the situation? Was it a positive one? Daily Toker, F. Macian, dead right. Nothing worse than paying for weed that couldn't hope to be as good as the weed you grow yourself, almost for free. Yeah. Because really, when you're growing cannabis yourself at home, if you do it good, if you do it efficiently, you could produce it for as little as 20 cents a gram. But again, maybe if you're not as good, if you're not as efficient, it might be somewhere in the region of €1 or €2 a gram. That's still fair off €20 a gram that people are paying, guys. So think about it. Why aren't you doing it? Think about what Daily Talker says. What are you waiting for, guys? Do it now. Nike, just do it. That's gonna be the Martins World logo. Just do it. Just grow it. Dave says, I think you should take donations for John's fine. I don't think John wants to pay a fine. If John's going to get in a fine, I don't believe he's willing to pay it. It's his personal conviction there and that. It's like the principle. He's done nothing wrong, so why should he have to pay financial punitive fines? So I think that's the situation there with John. So again, I'm happy to support GoFundMe if that's John's wishes. But right now, I don't think John wants to pay any fines. He wants to stand his ground. Oops. David L, I'm waiting and watching from the hospital. Firstborn due later. Congrats, Dave, and best of luck on that. Some of your regards to the missus there as well. I hope everything goes as smoothly and the baby just pops right out. But yes, best of luck, man. And I don't know, I see a little blue person blown. I think that might be just a little smoke you might be having outside. But I don't know if you know if it's a boy or girl, but nonetheless, I hope the baby's born healthy and happy. So yes, exciting times. I was only there myself now, geez, just over 12 weeks ago. But yes, magical stuff. Oh, Soul Rebel, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Let's have a look at this. Amsterdam World Cannabis Cup. Cannabis World Cup Festival Amsterdam 2022 Festi ticket. So the 1st of July to the 3rd of July, as correctly pointed out there by a Soul Rebel. So everybody's in the know, man. What am I doing? I'm fucking I'm missing out on all of this stuff. $125 the tickets start at. So it'll be interesting. I wonder that they might have some big names, big artists. But this is it there. That's at Festi .com. That's where these tickets are. Put in the Cannabis World Cup Festival Amsterdam 2022 and you'll find it. Let's see what video they have. No audio. Oh, it's turned down. How long is this thing? It's about 30 odd seconds, is it? Oh, it's Amsterdam! Are you hearing this okay out there? Or a bit louder?
I will discuss some of the psychological aspects of the case.
Oh, look how the sound is going.
Listen while I'm dropping this hotness. I'ma come and do what I do. Ready to blow up and spit the lava.
Nice. Very beautiful city. Hey, the volcano. There you go. It's a little trailer there for the Cannabis World Cup. Oops, hit the replay button there, but I'm just gonna fill my volcano bag back up there in a second. Boom. Yes. We get one more bag in there before we finish off the show today. But again, nice one, Chilbert, for the heads up on this, and to Soul Rebel there as well for dropping the dates in the hot box. Let's look at the prices, starting from $125. Is that for? Oh, that's one full weekend ticket. Or just pay £27 today. What? Wait, no, hang on a second now. Or pay £27 today. And pay the rest on arrival, I would imagine, is it? How do I pay £27 a day? It's like if I'm getting like if I can, what's that, £100 discount? Nah, that's just like a deposit, I'd say. So you add on your ticket there. Oh, nice. Save 10% as well there. Look, if you book accommodation with your tickets, apparently, book everything you need for your trip. Be careful though, you could end up actually paying more. The discount might not be much of a discount. Let's see what's there. Hotel and ticket, $217. So depending on the hotel, that might not be a bad offer. In fairness, like. What is the ticket? Ibis Schiphol. Ticket wow. Ooh, that would be a nice one. The ticket with Radisson Hotel and Suite. I wonder if they got like a sauna and a gym and swimming pool and shit like that. That'd be nice. $270 per day, per night. Or per person. That's not bad. So that's your ticket to the thing and 3 nights stay at the hotel, is it? Oh, they got some nice hotels down here as well. Sweet. So let's just look at one of these for the crack. Let's just look at this one, nice expensive one. So there you go. Two people, 633. So 2 people, 1 room. Boom. That's it, total. So you get your 3 nights at the 3 days at this festival, this Cannabis World Cup, and 3 nights at the hotel there. And that was one of the more expensive hotels. You can go to the cheaper ones as well, obviously. You go back there, look, the Ibis there at the top was the cheapest ones. £434 there for 2 people. That's your accommodation and your weekend entry then, I think. What's included? Yeah, tier 1 full weekend ticket. So there you go. Boom. That's not bad. That's actually not very bad at all. So check that out now, guys. Let's have a look. What else they got up there? They got some photos. It's Amsterdam. No idea who this artist is. Forgive me. Boom, boom, boom. Got a blunt. Big Nasty and General Levy and Leroy Thornhill, some of the headliners. Yeah. Amsterdam, here we come. 1st of July. See Martin's World over there. Yeah, boy. Chilbert UK says share a rented apartment for the weekend. Be cool with like-minded peeps. Yeah, I've actually rented some private apartments when I went to Amsterdam in the past, and really nice apartments over there. Airbnb have some really cool ones. Some of them there have like pool tables and all sorts of really fun stuff inside in their apartments. But yeah. Daily Talker says if anyone wants a few free seeds to get started, I have a couple of dozen I can hand out. Also, if anyone is stuck for smoke, I have some lovely Moroccan I can share. Daily Talker, you are absolutely a star bar. Others out there, Canaman 83, Top Man, Daily Talker, fairly. I'd love to help people who need the shit, but I don't, but I love it, yeah. Good stuff there, Daily Talker. A lot of love coming in for you. I'm just flicking through the comments there. Forgive me if I overlook any of your comments. Just making sure that nobody is at me. Daily Talker says I took a risk buying it because you never know what you will get, but I'm impressed with the quality. Seems genuinely good. Daily Hooker, I'll have to get in touch, man, and take you up on an offer there of that Moroccan. Maybe we can do another trade. Dave, any breeders looking to sell beans, hit me up. Needs femmes. So Dave is shouting out there. Anybody got some fem seeds? Send them Dave ways. John Regan shouting out to Amy Riley. If they ever open up the local courthouse, you'll have no problem attending one of my cases. Yeah, I don't think the courts are open yet, actually. Well, are they? Oh, nice one, Dave. Seen the Insta, gorgeous little thing. Having a little girl in the hospital since 7. Lovely. Excuse it. Whew, that volcano could definitely tickle at times. Jeez, we're nearly 2 hours into the stream, and we kind of only touched off of 1 or 2 things, but it's been great to get on here and have the chats anyway. A bit more of a much more interactive stream today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this as well. Excuse me for all the coughing. Daily Talker in the Telegram group, Martin, linked under the vid. Excellent. Yeah, the link should be in the description now on the video for the Telegram group. It's an open group for anybody to join, guys, and from there you can contact myself and have the chats and bans and stuff like that. 100k says, man, I'm trying to save up for that one in Amsterdam. Looks great. It does. It looks cool. Amsterdam be a really cool place as well to be going to an event like this. So Amsterdam and Barcelona, two top places. Not to be underwriting the UK, but unfortunately the cannabis over there is a lot less grey area than Amsterdam and Barcelona. But it still has got its scene and it's still unique in its own right. So yes, three great events upcoming this year. Others out there just looking through. Seeing some love hearts coming in there for this Moroccan. See Darren Newcomb. Daily Talker says, I'll trade any day. You gelato a deal. Hunter K says, we need to set up a trading network for things, lads. Yeah, they see. I can remember going back years ago when I used to be growing myself, and there was a few other friends that were growing as well. A lot more friends actually growing back then than what there is now. There was about 7 or 8 of us that were growing, and we used to have a lovely circle going. There used to be times when you might run out, and it used to be grand. Look, I'd get on to one of the lads there, and it's like, oh, you got a quarter there, you got a half ounce. Oh, yeah, sweet, that's the job. I'll throw you back there when I chop down whatever. And it was such a cool little circle, nice little community affair that we had going on there. We would always share with each other. If I would had a harvest, I would always make sure I got a little bit to the guys, and likewise they would do the same. You know, we would all throw each other like a kind of a quarter or something like that out of everyone's harvest. Just so we had a sample there. It was really fun. It was really good. But unfortunately, like all good things, it came to an end. Paddy J says, yes, might give you a shout there, Daily Talker. And Raining Rocks as well, sorted on Telegram. Nice. Scatness as well. Oh, never mind. I'm 12 minutes behind. Excuse me. This thing's hitting like an motherfucker. Daily Talker says, I'll join the 24/7 hotbox on Telegram. Yes. Nice one, Daily Talker, night legend. Do we have any other news I want to get through for you today, guys? Otherwise, I'll start loving you and leaving you on this lovely Monday evening. I have to go down and look after a little man, and let my partner in crime get some rest and relaxation. And hopefully get up to the sauna as well later on myself. But we'll see what happens there later on this evening. Nothing better than a few blaze up and go up to the sauna. It's been nearly 2 years now since I've been up there, and I can't wait to get up for an old sauna session. No, there's not much else out there in terms of the cannabis news. Anybody else got their own news out there in the audience? Now is the time to share it or forever hold your peace. Just looking through. No, nothing else there that's jumping out at me that needs to be covered. There was some studies that came out there. I was going to get to one the last day on the stream. And it was a study that was coming out of the UK. I don't believe I got to it at all. And I'll see if I can find it there now. I was hoping to get to it, but unfortunately myself and John just had a bit longer of a discussion than I thought we were going to have. Oh no. Oh yes. It worked. I found it. So some positive news. Levy on a highway. Hopefully this isn't about the blocker. No. Excellent. So this is an updated analysis of clinical outcomes, outcome measures across patients from the UK, the UK Medical Cannabis Registry. So this was recently published on the 24th of January of this year. So again, this is up online. The full version of this is free to access online. So it's a very interesting piece of literature. Again, examining the data that's there supporting the use and the efficacy of cannabis for patients, especially patients with chronic pain. Excuse me. So again, the important parts here, the introduction, there is a growing body of literature supporting the efficacy of cannabis-based medicinal products, CBMPs as they're calling them there. Excuse me, I have the hiccups now. Despite an increase in the prescribing globally, there is a paucity of high-quality clinical data on efficacy of cannabis-based medicinal products for many conditions. This study aims to detail the changes in health-related quality of life outcomes and associated clinical safety in patients prescribed cannabis-based medicinal products for any clinical indication from the UK Medical Cannabis Registry. So again, there are methods here. An uncontrolled prospective case series of UK medicinal cannabis UK MCR registry. Of the UK Medical Cannabis Registry was analysed. Primary outcomes included changes from baseline and patient reported outcome measures collected across all patients. And again, they have some technical terms here. Generalized anxiety disorder scale. Again, this is a scale that's used to assess the level of anxiety. They also have a few different ones here. EQ, 5D, 5L. I have no idea what that is. Sleep quality scale. It is what it says. But again, there's people out there, people like Bobby Smith, who will say, oh, well, this is patient reported. That's low quality. Man, this is somebody telling you that something's helping them and improving their life. Don't underwrite the quality of this data at all in this research. And then it talks about here at 1, 3, and 6 months. So this is when the updates, when the questionnaires were put out to assess the benefits. So they took it at baseline, they took it at 1 month, they took it at 3 month and 6 month. Secondary outcomes included the self-reported incidence and severity of adverse events. And the results that were obtained, it said 312 patients were included in the final analysis, with a mean age of 44.8 years. The most common primary diagnosis was chronic pain of undefined etiology. So 32.7% of those patients had chronic pain. Of the chronic pain, also then included there was neuropathic pain, 13.8%, fibromyalgia, which is also very much a pain-related condition, 9.9%. Then before enrollment, 112 patients had consumed cannabis daily. That's 35.9% of the patients. The median CBD and THC dose prescribed at baseline were 20 milligrams and 3 milligrams respectively. So that's 20 milligrams of CBD and 3 milligrams of THC. So that's quite a low amount of THC. So statistically significant improvements were observed in these tests that they're talking about here. Again, the ones I don't know about: GAD-7, EQ, 5D, 5L, and sleep quality scores at 1, 3, and 6 months. There were 94 reported adverse events, of which were nausea, dry mouth, which I'm fucking suffering from right now, dizziness, somnolence, and they were the most common. So not of any real major concern there. Like dry mouth, cotton mouth, that's a very common cause of side effect of cannabis use. How do you treat it? What did I just do? I had a sip of water. That's actually a benefit. The kind of a knock-on benefit there to cotton mouth. It encourages you to drink a bit more water. Maybe there's a drawback to that. Cottonmouth could also encourage you to consume a load of fucking sweets and jellies, hard drinks, slush puppies. So it's not always good. I'll be honest there. I'm very biased. The conclusion then of the study. The study demonstrated that cannabis-based medicinal product treatment to be associated with relatively low incidence of severe adverse events in the medium term. Positive changes following treatment were observed in general, as well as anxiety and sleep specific higher reported quality of life outcomes. Randomized controlled trials are still awaited to assess causation. However, real-world evidence can help inform current clinical practice, future trials, and is an important component of pharmacovigilance. So again, what they're saying here basically is that there is a low incidence of severe adverse events. In the medium term, there needs to be more studies done to view this on the long term. But again, it looks good. All looks good in terms of the evidence coming back from this study. Again, they're talking about positive changes here following treatment for the patients. So again, that's positive findings coming back, and this supports the need to carry out these randomized controlled trials, because they're still waiting on them, and we're all waiting on them. Why are they not being carried out? It's ridiculous. There's mounting evidence now. There's a mountain of evidence that supports the need to kind of further explore this use of cannabis as a medicine. So there you go. Excuse me. Comments coming in, loads of comments coming in there from Facebook. Lovely. Amy Riley says, get the Ishka. Paddy J says, conclusion of the study, prohibition sucks ass. Yes, it does, Paddy J. Rasher says, well said, lads, we need safe community exchange. And it's not too difficult to achieve either. So guys, just to finish off on that, if you want to go find the study, if you want to go read into it in its entirety, an updated analysis of clinical outcome measures across patients from the UK Medical Cannabis Registry. Professor Michael Harris, that's a name that I believe is familiar to me. Any other names familiar there? Nope. Could be mixing that up, actually. I don't know, is that the right guy? There was a different Harris. But anyway, that's the headline, or that's the title of that study if you want to go find it. Just looking at your comments there now. Nope. Mute him. Daily Talker says, Martin, hearing your cough makes me want to tickle my own throat with the bong. Apologies, guys, apologies. I have a bit of a blocked fucking nose there as well. I don't know if you've been able to hear that as well. But thankfully you don't have the COVID, at least hasn't been confirmed yet. Paddy J says, I grew my first plant last year with the help of high and homegrown, but basically threw a seed in the ground and let nature do the rest. Wasn't a bad smoke off it, but back to the street shit now. Well done, Paddy J. Good experience anyway, nonetheless. Other comments there. Sent a link of that news to Frankie Boy. Bobby Smith is basically a tug coming in there from Tinkle Tink. Definitely wouldn't disagree with you there, man. Misinformation artist. Others. Tinkle Tink saying, I would love to see a cannabis co-op cup in Ireland. Now, there's an idea. I've recommended that one to GB over on the Percy's Grow Room. But unfortunately, there's kind of some complications around doing that with the supply side of it. So apparently setting up a cannabis cup is kind of seen as to being also supplying cannabis. If you had judges and you gave them cannabis, well, you just supplied them cannabis. So it was a bit of a problem there for Mackie to host that over there. But if we can get enough growers, I'm certainly down for the challenge of organising something like that. It would be fun. It would be fun. Look at this. Should be hang about. 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 20 seconds, is it? Oh, yes. We fill up one more bag and we'll ring in the last 420. The next 420 is going to be going down in Noranha. Where the hell is Noranha? Let's look this one up. Why did she disappear? She won't fucking. Ah, me bag. Yes. Wouldn't let me copy it for some reason off of the clock. So let's just do it this way. Oh, whoa. Look at this place. Over in Brazil, an archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean, part of the state of Pernambuco. Pernambuco? Man, that's beautiful. It's located 354 kilometers, 250 miles offshore from the northeast of Brazil. Man, look at this place. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Happy 420 over there. Oh, wouldn't you just love to be up? Ah, look at that. I mean, some crack. A few bong hits and on the snorkels. Don't panic about the sharks. Ah, yes. This is kind of what I love about bringing in the 420 around the world. You just never know where you're going to get to travel to next. So this is North Onaha. North Onaha? I think that's how it is. We've looked at the South Sandwich Islands in the past, but yeah. There it is off the coast of Brazil. It's just off that kind of northeastern tip. Really nice place. I wonder is cannabis legal? I suppose if it's in Brazil, then it's probably... No, it doesn't come up. It is illegal though. Haha. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burp. Getting my brothers in Brazil over there on North on oh, big long full. South Sandwich Islands. That's made me hungry. Love a nice ham and cheese South Sandwich Island now. Ham and cheese toasted South Sandwich Island. With a big packet of crisps. Yes, cheese and onion potatoes. Cheese and onion potatoes, so other people prefer it out there. Cheese and onion potatoes are walkers. That's the final thought of the day. Cheese and onion potatoes are walkers. I'm a potatoes guy all day, especially when it comes to cheese and ham toasties. Epic munchie. It's the go-to there over in Amsterdam. Hot chocolate, ham and cheese toasty. Good Lord, if somebody just killed me, have I gone to heaven? Yes. Billy behind civil disobedience. Billy knows all about the civil disobedience. Go on, Billy, absolute legend. So we start saying our good boys. Constant Gardner says, Martin, will you squeeze a trad tune out of that bag before you go? Next time we'll bring up the spoons as well. Paddy J says, if Ireland can compete in cricket, we should be allowed to compete in the Cannabis Cup, surely. I would agree so too, Paddy J. I think it's absolutely fucking atrocious that Ireland is not being represented at the Cannabis Cup. I think we need to start a petition, and that we need some fucking, I don't know, a nationwide strike. We need representatives to go over there and represent Ireland in the Cannabis Cup, and I'm happy to put my hat in the ring as a nomination. What are the games? Do we need a team? Is there a female league? I'm sure we'll have many volunteers. It'd be like the Olympics, but for cannabis. Others out there, Daily Toker, cheers everyone, cheers Martin for the purple god, but not a bother at all. Casa de Strogas, Decrim in Brazil. Yes, I was thinking there was some form of crime, but it's still not legal. I suppose they don't have any legal markets. But I was just hoping that there might have been something pop up for that particular location. But it's probably quite. I wonder what even the population of that gaff is. No, Ronaha population. 3,100 people according to the 2020 numbers. So small population. Get a few of us to move over and we get up to 4,200. Yes, I see some tailor lovers coming in. Daily Talker says lay crisps for the win. King Crisps. Oh, King Crisps was versus Tato was a big divide. Yeah, I forgot about King Crisps. In fairness, King Crisps and Tato's, they're quite close, but King Crisps are quite good. I think King Crisps are pretty good at the pub. If you're at the pub, King Crisps is where that is at. But if you're going for Tato sandwiches, like it's Tato's, sorry. But yeah, King Crisps were quite good. Remember getting many packet of those at the pub with me dad growing up. There's a snack bar and a pack of King Crisps and a glass of Raza there, kid. For anybody else in anywhere else in Ireland, you don't know what Raza is? That's raspberry cordial. But that was a staple of me childhood growing up in the pub, out for the Sunday League games, followed by the Simpsons. They'd always get them to leave on the Simpsons in the pub. The dads get to have a half hour of the pints then while the kids will be watching the Simpsons. Mad. The Can Olympics. Yes, Can Olympics. I'd like to do it actually. I should do it actually. We should try to get some volunteers and get a space where we could do it and get a few people in to maybe do the fastest joint. What are games you could come up with? Come up with some ideas and if you got some good ideas, if you think they're worth sharing, maybe that's something we could do through the show as well, a game show, if you will. But like the fastest joint rolling, I don't know, like the biggest bong hit. I don't know. You could come up with some fun games, get a few people in, get some cannabis donated into the cause as well, and we have some fun. But we'll love you and leave you so, guys, and we'll be back on Friday, guys, and we'll probably go with 7 o'clock again, if that's okay with everybody. I hope that's not upsetting too many people's plans, but 7 o'clock again on Friday we'll go live, and keep an eye out for that breakdown of the interview with Nicola Talent and Bobby Smith as well. I'll hopefully get that out by Wednesday. I'll go live with it, but keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, yeah, 420 News back here on Friday, guys. So stay blazed, keep it lit, take care, guys. Much love to you all. Peace. Hey.